Three tips that you should know and consider when writing your return policy. Again, just get your pens and pencils and pads or tablets, whatever you need to take notes. We're going to get right into this training session tonight, and again discuss these tips. But first, let's back up and talk about why we need a return policy. As a retailer, your job is to ensure that ensure the buyer that your product is the best and that you stand by and trust your product that you are selling. So buyers, will definitely tend to trust businesses that show that they stand by their brand by offering a return policy. So it's just something that companies get into that help the customer to really feel ease about their purchase and about what they're about to do, especially when they're able to see the return policy on your website or whatever you use to show your return policy. It really just helps to ease the buying process. However, the big challenge, for you is following through with the policy. As humans, we do not like to be told that our product sucks, which is essentially what people are saying when they want to return their product to you. But it's how the customer feels when they walk away from that experience that will bring them back to you. I know that I have plenty of situations where if I needed to return a product or had a concern about a product, and if I had a difficult time with that company, I will never go back and work with them again or purchase anything from them again. But the companies that really worked with me, or even exchanged the product, or just were really nice and helpful about the situation, you definitely want to stick with them because you can tell that they care about their customers. So it's about how the customer feels when they walk away. So they should feel appreciated and valued for their opinion and for bringing it to your attention. But hopefully, with a good return policy, you can minimize any returns and maintain a happy customer who loves their product. So here are three tips to consider when writing your return policy for your hair extension business. Number one is to keep the customer in mind and understand what they want. Of course, this is within reason. Okay, if this was a perfect world, of course, anything would go, everything could be returned and all that. But you still have to maintain your business and manage it. So think of how you would want to be treated if you needed to return a hair product, and consider an exchange program or a warranty program for that. Now, we all know that, in the world of hair, you can never return a hair product if it has not been opened, or if it has been opened, touched, or altered. And there is a reason for that. Hair is a hygienic product similar to, diapers or underwear, brushes and combs, things that we use on our bodily areas. And, there are state and federal laws that prohibit these returns. So, and it's unsanitary. So this leads me into tip number two, which is do not accept any returns of hair products that have been opened. So you want to make sure that is included in your return policy, and only accept it if it's in its original package and has not been altered. And include a length of time your boutique will allow for returns or exchanges. So if they return the product without it being opened, they have a certain amount of days in order to do that. And so some of the familiar times are 7 days, 30 days, and some companies even do 90 days. So that's completely up to you and how far out you want to go with that. But consider those things and definitely include the part where they cannot return it if it's been opened. Okay, and then tip number three is to encourage your customer to view the return policy. So they know, that you are cooperative and you're willing to work with them if something is wrong with the hair. So ways that you can do this to make sure that they actually see the return policy is to provide a link for them to view the return policy on your website. You can also have it, somewhere on your website, of course, where they can click and see what the return policy is. And then you can also, lastly, return it or put it on a receipt or on a label, whatever your label is for your hair, but they can see it and they know that you really stand by your return policy and you're willing to do what it takes to make sure you maintain their business. So just to recap, this was a really fast call tonight, and just wanted to get these tips to you. So our first tip is to make sure that you keep the customer in mind and understand what they want, okay? And make sure in doing that, you want to offer an exchange program or maybe a warranty program of some sort. Number two is to not accept any products that have been opened. Okay, you definitely need to have that in your policy because that is the law. You cannot accept hair products that have been opened or touched or anything by other human hands that are outside of the package. So make sure you include that. And then the third one, of course, is to encourage your customer to view the return policy and know how you stand behind them. Again, remember the goal here is to make sure that your customer feels valued and feels like their opinion counts. So you want to make sure that you make them feel that way so that they will return to you, even if they have to return a product. Again, like I said, I would suggest an exchange program. So if they're exchanging something, they can see that the process is seamless, so there's not any difficult emails going back and forth and different questions and stuff. Just it's a very simple process. They can go through, they feel appreciated, and you will always have customers coming to your door. So hopefully these will help you, with your return policy and help you knock something off of your to-do list as you're building your business. Remember, if you're interested in getting started with anything, you can check out our business plans on mainelementswithaz.com and check out our free training sessions and look out for a follow-up email to see if you enjoyed this training. Like I said, it was really fast, but I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night.